This Create Sell Bank module is on keywords, keyword research, and determining product trends. Now, a couple of definitions. Keyword research and search engine optimization, or SEO. Keyword research is basically finding, analyzing, and adopting the search phrases people use to search for and to find information on the internet related to your web pages. And it's not just your web pages, it's also your social media presences that might be hosted elsewhere in addition to your particular web pages. And search engine optimization is just being real smart about how you do your keyword research and how you apply the output of that keyword research to help the search engines find you and to find your page more quickly. So keywords and key phrases, these get used interchangeably, but a keyword is a word that describes a topic or a portion of a topic of a web page. A key phrase is a short phrase that describes the topic of a web page. And a key phrase is made up of keywords. So, you can kind of see how they're interchangeable in some respects, but they are distinct. And both of these are used by search engines to determine the relevancy of your web page to both the keywords and key phrases that get typed into the search engine. For instance, when a user types in men's basketball shoes into Bing, Bing is a search engine by Microsoft. Bing uses that key phrase, men's basketball shoes, to try to figure out what the user is looking for. Bing will then return an ordered list of web pages that best fit men's basketball shoes. So let's suppose you have a website, or you have a Facebook fan page, or you have a blog, or you have a Twitter account, or you have a Pinterest account that has a selection of men's basketball shoes. And you use search engine optimization to properly present those keywords to the search engine. Bing or Google or Yahoo or any of the other search engines are more likely to show your website to the particular user. Now, keyword stemming is really a search engine's capability to understand different word forms of a specific search query. And typically these are prefixes or suffixes that get added to the root keyword. And I use several free keyword stemming tools, but realize, and this is really an important part, that the underlying stemming algorithm or algorithms are very, very complex, and they're not always correct. I'm going to show you an example down here at the bottom of the page. So where you use keyword stemming is that you populate your page, your articles, your headlines with variations on your keyword or keywords, i.e. your key phrase. So the Google keyword stems to Googling, Googled, Googly, and Googles. Now, 3 out of the 4 of those seem pretty straightforward. Googly, I'm not sure is a reasonable stem, but that's what comes out when you use, one of the tools. Another tool is if you look at like, you have likes, liked, likely, and liking. So which of those 4 doesn't fit? It's the likely. It's certainly a stem off the root like, but what you're trying to do is to have the search engines pick up your keywords and the stems on those keywords and drive traffic to you. So if you put in likely, it's not necessarily the same as like. that gets into natural language processing and, again, the algorithms that are really complex. I put laborious keyword research because it is, for doing research. I mean, you can pay money, you can get some free keyword research tools, but I just want to point this out. If you go to Google and you type in one word, so for instance, if we type in Senate, well, all of a sudden what happens is you get Senate vote results, Senate examples, Senate votes today, Senate impeachment vote record, Senate trial, Senate majority leader, Senate vote live, Senate seats 2020. And now Google just saw that you typed in Senate, and it's going in and it's trying to anticipate what you're trying to do. So we'll see an example on the next page, but you do the same thing for leather and you do the same thing for venture, and you get examples. And it's really important as you're putting together your particular web pages and doing search engine optimization, that that those are what people are typing into the search engines. Now, this is Google. You can do it for Bing, you can do it for Yahoo, you can do it for any other search engine. So here's what I was talking about. If you put in multiple words into the Google search engine, it gives the top keywords and key phrases that build on those words. And an example is you type in leather jacket, and you get leather jacket men's, leather jacket women, leather jacket repair, ... all the way down to it figured out that I'm in Albuquerque, leather jacket repair Albuquerque. But I just picked the third one in the list on the left, actually the second one in the list on the left, and plugged it into another search, leather jacket men's. Now I had put in apostrophe S, and it dropped it. It just left it like that, and it came back with, of course, what you typed in. That's the search, leather jacket men's. But then it had leather jacket men's near me, leather jacket men's Amazon, leather jacket men's outfit, leather jacket men's biker, leather jacket men's brown, leather jacket men's style, leather jacket men's Macy's. And where that's really important is now you're starting to get from leather and leather jacket down into the sub niche or sub niche of leather jacket men's, and below that you can go and have even further sub niching to go on and build your web page accordingly. So there's Keyword Finder is a real simple, it's a free keyword research tool. Now you can pay money to them and get a lot of additional services, but it's keywordfinder.io. And it uses Google's autocomplete application programming interface, the API, to find thousands of keywords. Now, recall what we just saw on the previous page, where this is the autocomplete by Google. So every time you type in something, it will give you, it'll go to the Google database and via this application programming interface, pull information out. Now you don't have to worry about it unless you're a computer scientist and you want to make an application like this. But if you use leather as the keyword, which you can see I typed in leather, and maybe I cut that off, but what we got is that leather jackets came up with 450,000 searches that are every month. So if we divide that by 30, I think it's like 15,000 that would show up every day. And that's a lot of search. So, but here's leather jackets for men, um, leather men jacket, and you can see that there's a lot of search volume. Now, over here on the right is really a way to get a visual on this. Now, I've ordered it by monthly volume, so you can see that, high monthly volume is first, going in decreasing order. But over here, this volume trend gives you a visual indication. And like, for instance, leather sofa, there's no seasonality on that. It's just constant all the way across. Leather bags, pretty constant. It dips down a little bit, probably in the summer months, because I think this is January through December. But up here, leather jackets. So winter is cold, and then in the summer, most people don't wear leather jackets, and then it goes up in the October, November, December time frame. Same thing for leather jackets for men, same shape. So anyways, you can use this tool. You can go get it and find trends. What is really important here is that these are in some cases, sub niches on leather and they've got substantial search volume, and you can do things with that. So now if I put in leather jackets, men's as the keyword, and just use a shallow search, you get these outputs, and it's something else to look at. And the goal here is, as you find your sweet spot, and realize that the sweet spot has some personal components, but in large part it's market driven. If there's a market that you and have expertise in, but that market has pretty high search volume, you can go after that and type that in and do various things. Now, we oftentimes do searches on Google, Yahoo, eBay, various search, there's Bing. But if you go to Suval.com, and it's kind of an interesting thing. It doesn't crawl the net. All it does is it goes off and it's written to the APIs of Google, Wikipedia, Answers.com, YouTube, Overstock, Buy.com, eBay, Bing, Yahoo, Amazon, and you'll see what happens if you put in the leather in here. Each one of those search engines shows up here, and this is it's a graph algorithm. So if you start doing right clicks, it'll go and reorder these, and you can download these search engines. But these are a lot of key phrases built around leather that people are actually searching for. So this is hugely important for you. So I wanted to go through the keyword and keyword research, key phrases. And now let's look at trends. In some of the past modules, we've covered the digital products with JVZoo, Warrior Plus, ClickBank, and also physical products, Amazon and AliExpress. And you can go there. They each have their own kind of search engines that'll tell you what are the top selling products in various categories or subcategories or subcategories. So you know how to do that. Now, what I want to do now is go through on how to use Google Trends and Trend Hunter to amplify that. So would it be useful to find out what is being searched for most on the World Wide Web? Now, searched for is different than bought. And, you can, the kind of an example is if people have searched for large TVs, that's, I guess one way to, they're kind of getting information. But instead of just searching for large TVs, if somebody types into the search engine 82-inch class RU 8000 premium smart 4K UHD TV 2019, the chances are they've done their research and they're looking to buy. So again, that's part of the key phrase that you can use to drive people. But two things we're going to talk about are Google Trends and Trend Hunter. So Google Trends is at trends.google.com. If you type that in, it will resolve to this subfolder of trends. And it's a free tool. It provides just an amazing amount of data that you can take action on search trends, and it's pulled from one of the largest real-time data sets in the world. It's updated constantly. And Google supports trillions of searches each year. And what they say is they provide an unbiased sample of their Google search data. And, so I use it as a way to explore shorter and longer term trends that come from these Google searches. Here's the link all typed out. And you can see, if you go there, you can see what people are searching for, and it'll have, major events that are showing up, the latest story in insights, and it'll have Google data. I like on the right here, donut versus donut. I guess people spell it D-O-N-U-T, and that search volume's going up while the search volume is very close to zero over here. So anyways, just you find out interesting things. So what does Google Trends data look like? It's anonymized, so no one's personally identified. It's categorized, and so it determines the topic, makes their best guess of the topic from for a search query, and it's aggregated, meaning it's grouped together. So you can search on a topic and a specific set of search terms to find interest in your keyword or key phrase over time. Locations where it's most searched, and you can do that on a world scale. You can do it on the U.S. scale. You can do it on a state scale. You can do it on a city scale, and you can keep drilling down. And then a really important one is you can find what else people search for in conjunction with their search. They've just typed this in, but you can see that people have similarly typed in other things. And this helps with, it kind of goes back to stemming, but it also helps you to think about how to get people to do things like get to your web page when they put in data into the search engine. Now you can compare up to 5 search terms on the same Google trend chart, and we'll explore this in a sec. And the trend results are normalized as a proportion of all searches on all topics on Google at that time and location, with 100 being the maximum and 0 being the minimum. So we're gonna do various things. We can choose Elizabeth Warren, then on the U.S. and Massachusetts, then add in Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Mike Bloomberg, look at different time scales. And the normalization is really, really important. Now, before we get to the Democratic primary, which that really is, I want to show you an event that happened just recently. There was a Hall of Fame NBA player named Kobe Bryant. And the search volume, now I'm looking over the past 90 days in the United States in all categories, and it was a web search, and it was pretty low. It was just going along. And then all of a sudden on January 25th, 2020, it spiked up to 100. And then it had a smaller spike out here on February 24th, 2020. Well, that's when Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 others were in a helicopter that crashed on the 25th. And then his memorial service was on the 2/24/20. And his daughter's number in basketball was 2, and 24 was his NBA number, and he and his wife were married for 20 years. So that's why she chose that particular date. But it's interesting to see spikes, and that those aren't a long-term trend, but and what you would call an abnormal event. But it also gives you, by sub-region, again, we can see by, here's the United States, we can see California really, was 100, Nevada, Georgia, New Jersey, Illinois, places that we're searching. And you can also, like I said, you can find related topics that were to just typing in Kobe Bryant. You get all these others, and then you get related queries. So these are topics, these are queries that people also typed in. So let's look at Elizabeth Warren. Now, the US searches, they're hitting 100. So I've got United States, past 12 months, all categories, web search. There it goes. Now, if we look in just Massachusetts, it's got a very similar trend. US, Massachusetts, again, it's hitting 100. But let's add in Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Mike Bloomberg, and we can see how they all go together. So on any particular day, you can see what was the most, but in this time, in the past 12 months, Bernie Sanders has the most searches. So he's got 100, and everybody else is proportionately down from that. And now if we look at Wisconsin the state of Wisconsin over the last 90 days, we get something that's pretty similar. There's the entire US, here's Wisconsin. So, you can understand what's going on with that. So that's a real quick overview there. But now there's some established templates for an e-commerce platform and an e-commerce store that we're gonna use. And those templates are in one of 4 keyword areas: fashion, sunglasses, leather, and jewelry. You're not limited to this in any way, but you want to at least understand the rudiments of the store. So, it's like I was talking about earlier with the 82-inch class RU8000 premium smart 4K. Somebody types in designer sunglasses, they're closer to being in a buying mood than if they just typed in sunglasses, and they could continue adding on to that if they have a particular model, part number, for instance. So, well, let's see what those search terms look like. So you put in fashion, and here's 100, 75, 50, 25, and 0 is down here. So almost across the last 12 months, this is a worldwide trend. Fashion is up very, very high. And that's an important thing to keep in mind, so you don't have necessarily the seasonality. And you can see where it's big, where people are looking at it, the related topics and the related queries that show up. And now let's add in sunglasses. Now, sunglasses is, you can have fashion, but it's not as searched as fashion. But again, you start to see a curve that is pretty flat as opposed to others. And again, that gives you a 12-month opportunity. Well, let's add in leather, and that now shows up in yellow. And you can see again, that is flat. And we'll decompose this and later. And now we add in jewelry and green. So all four of those are relatively flat. Now, sunglasses looks like it rises in the summer and it goes down, but for the most part, you've got four business areas that you can find a sub niche, a sub niche, or a sub niche in. So now, if we just take sunglasses, we look at men's sunglasses, women's, and designer sunglasses. Men's get searched for more, and that's in June, and that's the past 12 months. So then, but you can see that the shape of the curve stays pretty much the same. Now we have, from a previous class, a website called Sunglasses Gold. I'm not going to get into that. We'll talk about that later, but it has sunglasses. So the Google Trends also, you can go down and you can find the top daily searches, and you can see what the quantities are. And go figure that out. Apple's coming out with a new release, iOS 13. Now, Google has past years, so you can go Google Trends. You can go back 2019, 18, 17, 16, go all the way back to 2001, and see what was going on. And here's essentially what you get. In 2001, you've got consumer brands, Nokia, Sony, BMW, I think that's Payme, and Adobe. And you can just see, and I've got a better view of 2019. So here's what that looks like. The top search: Disney Plus, Cameron Boyce, Nipsey Hussey, Hurricane Dorian, and Antonio Brown. News, again, you can see what's going on there. People of the red carpet, weddings, what is, because people will often type in, what is Area 51, what is a VSCO girl, what is a MOMO, what is a boomer, what is quid pro quo. And now, it also, they've added on other areas that you can look at. So with these search terms, like I'm just going to go over sunglasses. You type that in and you get sunglasses cheap, sunglasses brands, Amazon prescription sunglasses, Oakley sunglasses, Ray-Ban sunglasses, Gucci sunglasses. And again, you do the same thing for leather, and you get some ideas on what are people searching for. Now you can see I've got a plugin um, that enables you to see the number of searches per month. Like leather sunglasses case, 880 per month. Well, that's not a lot, but if you're selling sunglasses um, and you have a nice leather sunglass case, that might be something to think about. Now, Google Trends, Time uses these to check out candidates for their Person of the Year special. It's a way to tell a story on that search volume. And here's Vladimir Putin, and you can see all the spikes that happen, but you can also see the trend that goes along. And this is, as you're writing content, you can go figure out if you can use your particular area and figure that out and do a story. So trendhunter.com, they are literally one of the world's leading trend research firms. I think when I was talking to them, 20 of the top 20 largest companies in the world use them, and a huge percentage of the Fortune 500 use them. They're expensive, but they've got really interesting things. So we'll just dive into it in a little bit. And Jeremy is an amazing speaker, and you're going to have an opportunity to decompose one of his talks. So at trendhunter.com, you can download a 2020 trend report. And this is going to be one of your homework assignments. I want you to go there and find out how to do that. And you'll get the top 18 trends. And essentially what they do is they take and break their research into 6 patterns of opportunity. And within each one of those 6 patterns of opportunity, they have 3 mega trends. So since you had 6, you got 18 mega trends. So, acceleration, perfecting one thing, aspirational icon, exaggerated feature, reimagine the solution. And you can, think about the mega trends of catalyzation, prosumerism, and artificial intelligence. The next one is cyclicity. That's not right. Cyclist, something like that. But it means a cycle. And it's got 3 areas: nostalgia, youthfulness, and naturality. Reduction, instant entrepreneurship, curation, and simplicity. Redirection, tribalism, experience, and gamification. Gamification is a big growing market, but all of these are. Convergence, multi-sensation, hybridization, co-creation. Divergence, which has the mega trends of authenticity, personalization, and many-to-many. So an example that you get is like under the catalyzation, inclusive design. And they have a trend and insight, and adjustable classroom desks, colorful refugee children's schools, helpful sensory playground designs, ergonomic scholastic workstations, all sorts of things they'll come out with. I'm just going to show a couple as for examples. Artificial intelligence, the deep fakes, how they're able to put videos together now, and there's other things in that. The prosumerism, the micro learning, just where you get the information that you need and nothing more, and you can keep going. These are all things that are trending. And then in the experience area, gamified stay, big gamer pop-up hotels, cartoon-themed resort hotels, knowledge testing hotels, AI-enhanced loyalty programs, all good. So Trend Hunter, the 2020 Trends Report has 14 more trends that you can, of course, download at trendhunter.com. In order to get it, you have to give them your email address. And if you're not comfortable with that, let me know. But this is something you can get. But what's trending right now besides the Democratic primary contest is coronavirus. And so I type that in, and interest over time, from, it's going up, and it is going to continue to go up. So what products and services can you think are related to coronavirus? Well, how about masks that have, viral protection built in? Now, I'm not recommending these. I'm just saying, as an example, getting masks. Now, what Trend Hunter does is it'll give you a popularity and activity and a freshness and they'll, I don't know if it's an average or it's a root mean square, to come up with their 9.6 score, which is a high score. And they'll do that for each one of these particular products, and they'll show which part of the country they're, or which part of the world they're good in. So just my research I was trying to find items that had above 50 all across the board. I looked at a hiking backpack, and that came out pretty well. Telephoto camera lens, again, that's above 50, and it's up and down, and it jumps up. And if you look at that's late summer, that it jumps up. Language translator. Now that is almost above 75 for the whole time, but it's an interesting product. A portable scanner. This one, right around 75. It has some dips, but it also has some up dips. But the trend is that's a good product. Diaper bags. Look at these things. They're just growing. I mean, 75. They dip down, but then the trend is up. But same thing for car seat covers. Very, very high demand. Almost, if you look at the average of that is probably the highest average out of any of these across the whole. And then a car dash cam, which again, 75. It dips down, but all told, it's above 50. So you can look at this on Google Trends. Now let's look at one more, and we'll see a smart scale that goes along. It's, above 50, right around 50, but then it spikes up and goes down. Now, when did it spike up? Right in December. So a lot of people maybe overeat from Thanksgiving to the holidays, New Year's, and then that becomes something that they want to do. So you can put all these things in the smart scale. I just grabbed 5 of them: dash cam, car seat covers, diaper bag, backpack, and a portable scanner. And you can see the car seat covers get a lot of search volume. Now, if I took car seat covers out, you just say, okay, that looks good. These others will scale appropriately. So what we've done in this module is we've covered, how, kind of reviewed about finding top selling products on Amazon, AliExpress, ClickBank, JVZoo, and Warrior Plus, in saying that you can go search those and find the top selling products. We looked at Google Trends and how to use that. We looked at how to use Trend Hunter's free 2020 trend tool. Some products that are trending now in February of 2020. And, in your sweet spot determination, one of the keys is really to find a market that's growing, and you can utilize the above to help with that determination. Now, keep in mind, I've said this many, many times, that if your keyword is jewelry, there are so many people that are spending a lot of money just on jewelry. But if you can get down into the sub, and in some cases, sub niche below jewelry, you can have a majority of that particular market, because that's just the way it is. So this ends the module on keywords, keyword research, and determining product trends.